Hello everyone, this is Redact and this game is called Suzerain. Last episode we were able to, we decided what our immigration policy was going to be. We need to stop illegal immigration, so we'll see whether that does anything. So I think next we need to talk about trade agreements with some of our neighbours. See how that goes. Right, so we've got economy is tanking. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's not good. Railway's still only halfway done. That's not good. Alright, let's read the news. Freedom in education choice. A new privatisation initiative has allowed many income households to pay for the better education in their districts. Finally reached a point where our children are allowed to change their destiny by simple freedom of choice. Price might be high compared to the state-funded education option, but it's justified in performance. Sordland tightens up immigration. Series of latest policy changes enacted by President Rain to tighten the immigration has caused condemning responses of the international community, with the exception of Wales in the region. Prime Minister of Agnolia has given a statement on television. Both Agnolian and Sordid people will be the ones to suffer from this unfortunate decision. It's continued on by mentioning that the Anglan region of Sordland will lose a lot of Agnolian investment as a result. On the other hand, President of Wales, Victor Smolak, has given a different kind of response, saying it's great to see our good neighbour Sordland step up to its greatness once more. Yeah, so they're the guys over here. So they will help us against the scummy Rumburgians. Right, what do the economists say? Huge step backwards in ending recession. The isolationist policies of President Rain are burying us deeper into the mud that is called recession. No! I gave tax breaks. That should have solved it. One of the main reasons behind Mr. Rain's election was to entrust him with the responsibility to the end of the recession. The data is clear. A country that doesn't allow free access to potential investors and skilled immigrants will lose the opportunities they bring. Knowingly, President Rain has still decided to worsen Sordland's economy even further. Trade works to trust, and an isolationist country can't bear the trust from other nations. No trust means no trade. It's that simple. It needs to happen for this basic fact to be understood by our president. Certainly, either his advisor is incompetent or he refuses to listen to them. We're not sure which one is worse. We'll see. Okay, Radical. What's going on? State continue its war. One of the leaders of the Red Youth was arrested on his way to Benfi. Said he was planning to escape Sordland with the help of a cargo ship. Following his arrest, a group of militants fired at patrolling police officers in the city of Valgen. After the incident, which saw no deaths from either side, the city was plunged into chaos, with the opportunistic looters flocking to the streets. Soon stopped after the arrival of riot police. Dire in ruins as lockdown lifted. Sordid authorities on Wednesday lifted the lockdown in the southern city. Focused on the bluish majority areas of Dire. WPB offices were raided, thousands of arrests were made. Claimed that 100 BFF fighters were killed. Slowly returns to normal life among the rebels, with many of the bluish people surely have a difficult time making peace with the government for the atrocities. So we need to invest in here, isn't it? This is where the bluish are. Let's see. I think this is where the bluish are. Pretty sure. Okay. Right, let's do this private party. Far from becoming accustomed to my workload as president, I only felt more and more snowed under as the weeks passed. It's been ages since I had any time to myself. Starting to lose my focus and my temper was growing increasingly thin. Peter was the first to realise I needed a break. After much cajoling, he finally persuaded me to come to a meeting of his new venture, Gentlemen's Club. The last few months, we've been hosting a salon of sorts, not just for politicians and businessmen, but also artists, entertainers, people of taste, he told me with a smile on his face. There's only one rule, no wives or girlfriends allowed, hence the name. I found myself in front of the new luxury villa in Ilori, where loud jazz music emanated from inside. I waited and waited. Finally, Peter opened the door. I could smell the whiskey on his breath. Anton, finally, come in, relax, take a break from this crisis. As soon as I entered, Peter closed the door and turned to the small crowd. Gentlemen, a moment of your time, please. And now the privilege to present to you the man himself, the 4th President of Sordland, Mr. Anton Rain. I've known him for long enough to understand he was more than a little drunk. He made an elaborate mock courtesy as I passed him and walked into the room. Music stopped. I felt everyone's eye on me. Thank you, Peter. What's next? A choir? A marching band? And I presented to you Peter Vectern, the 1st alcoholic Vice President of Sordland. Yeah, good evening. That's good enough, I think. Peter nodded at me and turned to his attendees. Dear members, please give a warm welcome to our very special guest. If I may, Anton, please take this. Handed me a glass of whiskey and put his hand on my shoulder. We all know why we're gathered here tonight, to celebrate life, to have a brief escape from our tumultuous professions. Personally, don't know any better cure for stress than a little drink. Only a little one. I'll drink to that. Raise your glass. Yeah, let's just toast, everyone. Now, the tradition dictates that as club president, I have to remind you of our house rules. There are 3. No politics, no wives, no one sober. Cheers. Peter drank the whiskey in his glass in one go. I should sip it in case I do something that I regret later. Anton May might have the power to make presidential decrees, but I, Peter Vectern, the president of this club, now declare this party started. Music, go! The band started up again. Greeting the crowd around me, I felt his hand on my shoulder. Let me show you around. We walked through the corridors of his mansion. Statues and paintings lined the stark white walls. Arch window provided a view of the neatly manicured grounds, complete with a swimming pool. A grand lesbian marble staircase led up to the 2nd story. Peter gestured at the massive crystal chandelier hanging overhead. That chandelier was made in the 18th century, can you believe it? That's even a hedge mage in the garden. Yeah, how are you paying for all of this? Later in secret, Gus Manga had a lot of contacts in real estate. He's brokered a good deal for me. He'll also be here tonight. I can introduce you if you like. I know Gus Manga. Do you think you could arrange a deal for me too? I don't really want to do that because then people will start suspecting that I'm corrupt. What did you promise him? Yeah, I'm worried about you, Peter. Only my money. We continued walking until we circled back to where we had started. So what do you think of my little hideaway? Not bad. It's amazing, but I'd hardly call it a hideaway. Definitely doesn't rival yours. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, let's get back to the party. Arranged for caviar to be brought in from Lesbia. You're going to love it. We opened the door to the main hall and we rejoined the other guests. The music was louder now and the mood decidedly more inebriated. Cocktail waitresses were carrying around plates of canapes, wearing dresses that left little to the imagination. I thought this was a gentleman's club. Would you rather get served by wrinkly old men, sweetheart? Over here. He waved one of the waitresses over and she came over to us. In her mid-20s, wearing red lipstick, her blonde hair neatly tied into a ponytail. On her plate were toast points, slathered in lesbian caviar, Peter had mentioned. Took a bite, it was rich, salty, tasting of pure seaside. I could almost hear the sound of waves and seagulls. Lesbian caviar, best in the world, I'm telling you, Anton. These are the few pleasures in life that are this. As the waiters left us to serve another attendee, she flashed a quick smile at Peter over her shoulder. He smiled back a little too broadly. Okay, he's been up to stuff. Sensual, okay. His eyes still fixed on her with an expression I remembered from our many nights out together as students. Oh look, there's Gus. Why don't you talk to him? I'll be back shortly. Okay, he's off with the waitress. Yeah, where are we going? Oh, just to the washroom. I'll be back before you know it. He left the room and headed over to Gus. Gus Manga was standing next to a couple of men I recognized as banking industry magnates. As I approached, all of them turned to me and bowed their heads. Mr. President, a toast to our new member, everyone. Gus and I clinked our glasses as people around us raised theirs. How long have you been a member? Since the beginning, it's a fun gathering, quite lucrative at times. You might have heard from Peter I arranged a deal for his mansion. He told me that you might be interested in a potential opportunity such as, well, this. He opened his arms, gesturing at our opulent surroundings. Let's take a walk. The balcony is an amazing view. We left the room and made our way to the balcony. On the way, he took out two cigars and held one out for me. I'll take your cigar, that's okay. Well, it's not okay, but It's not like he's giving me a mansion or something. Mixed with a taste of whiskey, it was delicious. As we went out to the balcony, all of Alori was at our feet. From this vantage point, I could see how expansive the building plot was. The swimming pool and the hedge maze were visible from here. Leaning over the railing, I admired the view for a moment before Gus spoke up. I know you're wondering about the deal Peter made. In a nutshell, thanks to my network, he was able to procure this house for half the asking price. It would have been impossible under any other circumstances. I'd like to make a similarly profitable arrangement myself. You're wrong, I wasn't one that cheap, huh? I don't want to make the same arrangement. Yeah, is that cheap, was it? You must know that the offer price is not suitable for every client. I've been delighted to work with you, but unfortunately a deal won't be possible at this time. Not for me and my contacts at least. Well, I didn't want one. Why is that? There have been some issues with my business, Mr. Rain. Nothing life or death, but the hard work I put in advancing rural development took up so much of my time that I've had to postpone some projects. I'm sure you understand. Yeah, I understand. That's fine. He downed his whiskey. If you excuse me now, I need to go refresh my drink. See you around. After we joined the party, alone on the balcony, I looked over the city. Suddenly I heard a rustling from the hedge maze below. I looked down and saw a silhouette, two silhouettes actually, so close together they seemed to be entangled. I squinted and tried to get a better look. It was definitely two people kissing. Couldn't see either of their faces. I returned to the party and spent some time mingling with other guests, engaging with them in small talk about their business, their children, and relationships. Around an hour later, Peter showed up next to me. See? I told you I'd be back before you knew it. Yeah, you're up to something. It's been an hour. Where were you? You're going to lie to me, Peter. Told you I was in the washroom. Why? For an hour? Sure. I would be direct. Were you with the waitress? What? No. How could you think that? I'm a married man. You know you can tell me anything. Yeah, you can have it if you want. Anyway, want a drink? Because I do. Ordered 2 large glasses of whiskey and we drank them in one go. Throughout the party we drank and drank just like old times. I woke up the next day with a pounding headache and more than a few regrets. Memories of the evening were hazy, but it was one important detail that kept coming back to me. The red lipstick on Peter's collar. Maybe my memory was playing tricks on me. Well, probably won't get involved in all that. Oh! Economy's gone up to 3. Oh, I'm amazing. I'm amazing at this game. What's this about? Opening of the Benfey Festival. Okay. Going on here. Read the report. Okay. Yeah, let's read these reports. So what's going on here? Privatisation in education. The new privatisation plan is in full swing. The first dozen public schools have transitioned into profit organisations already after a public bidding process determined the buyers. Minister of Education said only a small percentage of all institutions will be allowed to transition. It is expected that the ministry will gather a substantial amount of private funds from the initiative. Good. Police report. 2,600 citizens were taken into police custody over the weekend, most of them suspected to have close ties with the Bluedish Freedom Front. Interrogations are still underway to learn if they are memberships to any terrorist groups. Okay. Good. Going on here. All Souls post connection to Young Swords. Chief of Police. What a Young Swords sympathisers. Several old members of the terrorist organisation are currently working for the newspaper Whole Sword Post. Investigations are underway. Well, I hope the guy that we had that deal with isn't related to any of this stuff. That might be what he wants us to do. Lack of further evidence from the investigation into the fire has caused the case to be suspended until further notice. The cordon has been lifted. Damn, couldn't find out who that was. Alright, so we need to go to the festival next. Going on with the news. President Rain saves the day. According to the information we've received, President Rain has decided he will veto the Religious Harmony Bill. The bill itself says the name Harmony in it, however, don't be fooled by the name. The proposal prepared by Casario Kibena took a stab at the heart of the Blues populace by banning Bluedish language from being spoken at religious assemblies. Not for President Rain, the bill would have come to pass. Every single blood should be grateful for the exemplary decision by the President. Yes, They always make exemplary decisions. Police violence in the old capital. Police are fighting the wrong side. A few hours of protest pulled in a lot of people to join in, prompted the police forces to intervene. We, or our cultural organisation, pose no threat to the national security of Sordland or any other foreign country or state. Well, stop messing around with other foreign countries and states, then. We do not and do not plan to be on engaging in acts of terror or violence. Then, okay, then don't do it. Don't do it. Alright, let's go to this festival opening then. Our motorcade slowly made its way towards the magnificent Benfey High Art Centre. Night was falling and the festival was about to begin. They flipped through the brochure that had been given to us at the hotel. It's my wife, yeah. On the front page there was a face of Curtin Lesty, the mayor of Enrica. He was a Benfey native who had a long-standing relationship with the city's current mayor. He had been personally invited to take the night's opening speech. Benfey Festival was one of the biggest events of the year. It originally marked the start of the annual religious pilgrimage, a weeks-long journey still undertaken by devout Neurists. Today was better known as a cultural celebration that drew thousands of revellers to the city. There were film screenings, concerts, theatre and dance performances, art exhibitions and celebrity-studded nightly galas. The opening ceremonies were broadcast on TV and watched by millions. Carceload, a coterie of reporters and security guards rushed to meet us. I turned my attention to Monica. Since I'd refused to let her make the opening speech, her attitude towards me had changed. She now only spoke to me if I asked her a question, or if it was something important concerning the children. Will you ever forgive me? I told you my reasons. I know and I understand, it's just going to take me some time. She clearly did not want to pursue this topic any further. So when Serge opened the door, we were enveloped by the roar of the crowd. The next few moments were a blur of handshakes, photos and reporters' questions. The onlookers cheered as we walked the red carpet to the newly built art centre. Followed the guards through the cavernous white halls until we came to a set of arched doors leading to the auditorium. Waited outside as security did a quick sweep of the area and then headed in. I'd been asked to make a quick set of remarks introducing Curtin Lesty. I beckoned Monica to join me on the podium. Monica, I'm going to find my seat. Monica brushed past me, took a seat in the front row and crossed her arms. I walked alone to the podium. I spoke for a minute, reading a paragraph my speechwriter had churned out about the importance of the festival and Benfey to Sordland. I concluded by inviting Curtin Lest, the mayor of Enrica, to the podium. He stepped down and joined Monica in the front row, her arms still folded. Welcome to the first day of the Benfey Festival. Paused for a moment to let the crowd cheer, and then his eyes briefly met mine. Nod. This is a great night for the people of Benfey, indeed for the people of Sordland, to put aside our differences and come together in celebration. Yet, as we unite for the festivities, we must remember the real reason we are gathered here. The crowds fell silent, the people were giving their full attention to what he had to say. This festival was founded around the principles of our cherished religion, Nurity. Yet over the years it had been severed from its sacred roots and become something else, something more perverse. An excuse for public drunkenness and grotesque displays of flesh. An occasion for young women to parade their bodies and engage in lascivious behaviour. As he went on, I could see Monica becoming increasingly agitated. What in the hell is he talking about? Lascivious behaviour. What century does he think we live in? I don't know, just let it be. Monica turned back to watching the speech, a frown on her face. Perverse hitting under the guise of art is not befitting the beautiful city of. The crowd were becoming restless. Many of the younger attendees were murmuring in disagreement, while a few of the older ones were nodding vigorously. As I said, perverse hitting under the guise of art is not to be... Enough! Oh no. Oh no, Monica. All fell silent. Monica rose and continued. Mr. Lesty, it's not young women who are a disgrace to this fine festival, but you. You and your backwards, puritanical attitudes which have been holding this country back for far too long. Watch the events unfold. Monica turned to face the audience, speaking loud enough to be heard without a microphone. Women of Sordland, we must not let people like Mr. Lesty use religion as a justification to demean and oppress us. Our time has come. Shot gasps ran through the crowd. A few people rose and applauded. Curtin Lesty waited to speak. I think Miss Rain is forgetting her place. What do you think my place is, Miss Celeste? The kitchen? This festival is not about your retrograde traditions. We are living in modern times now. It's 1954. And it isn't your place to decide how the people of Benfey, especially the women, should be celebrating their own festival. Do nothing. I'll let her keep talking. I looked at the podium to see Kurt and Leslie's person gaze on me. There would surely be a price to pay for this. Oh shit. Mr. President, would you please control your wife before she embarrasses herself any further? Oh, here we go. Right, Mr. Monica, get back to your goddamn seat. Monica, we've been over this now. Is not the time. Sit down, please. I'm sorry about this, Miss Celeste. Please finish your speech. He's angry with me anyway. I'm just going to say, you know what? She's right. Monica looked at me, surprise registering on her face. Thank you, Anton. I turned to Curtin. We will take up your concerns at a later time. Please finish your speech. Now, please get your speech over with already. Your task was to give an opening speech, not a moral lecture. Finish my speech if you allow it, Mr. President. That's up to the people of Benfey, isn't it? Turn around to look at the crowd. The people immediately started booing Curtin. I ignored that and continued with his speech. Benfey has always been a beacon of culture, tradition and religion. Many battles have been fought over this precious city. Army after army has tried to claim it for their own, but we fought back and won each time. We stand here thanks to the strong men who were able to protect their families, their lands, their way of living. Every day I praise God that we have succeeded so far. Scattered applause broke out with some of the older members of the audience. They leaned over to Monica. He's a bit extreme, but he is right. We owe everything to God. It sounds more like a priest than a politician. I praise God, he's only allowed to speak for 2 more minutes. Yeah, he sounds more like a priest. I do not like it when the two collide. Yet the traditions that form the very fabric of society are being tested even as I speak. He looked pointedly at Monica. We must stay true to our values so that Sordland can prevail, so that Benfey can prevail. With these at the forefront, I'm convinced that Sordland will continue to be the greatest nation in the world. I invite every one of you to celebrate our roots and our traditions at this holy Benfey festival. Hereby declare the festival open. Praise God, praise Sordland, praise Benfey. Morgna Vescor. Victor and Sis die. Most of the people in the hall finished the decades-old saying, including me. Monica's lip moved, but he didn't say the words out loud. They exited the stage as the band stuck up the festival anthem. Spent the rest of the evening alternately watching the festivities and conversing with local politicians. By the time I got back to the hotel, I was exhausted. Thanks to festivities still raging outside and the sound of Monica tossing and turning beside me, I couldn't sleep at all. Well, that did not go as planned, but it's fine. Geopolitical. Berlin deploying special forces to Vernon. The renowned city of Vernon has been put on a curfew along with 7 other towns in the northeast of the country to combat the militant Bluetooth Freedom Front. They've increased their efforts to fight terrorism. Aerial campaigns, ground operations targeting BFF militants and their hidden bases. Operation will surely have consequences for the region, particularly for the neighbouring country of Lesbia, Rimburg, and particularly Sordland, which has a large population of Bluish people. What's going on here? Refugees of Vernon. Reports from our border on the Verzek city, Vernon, so that there were about 1,000 people running away from the military forces toward the Sordish border. Well, they can't come in. Or maybe I'll be allowed to let them in. It's only 1,000 people. It'll probably be fine. What have we got here? Downtime at home. Okay, I guess we'll do that. Felt like Antonio since Benfey Festival. Had it really been less than 24 hours? I was at home now drinking an afternoon coffee on my balcony. A stack of newspapers lay by my side. I picked them one by one, reading and rereading the articles about the festival. Some of the newspapers were merciless against Monica for interrupting Curtin during the speech. A few even called for her to be barred from political matters. Others expressed their support. In any event, I was relieved the incident hadn't reflected too badly on me. Putting down the last newspaper down, Monica joined me on the balcony. Listen, can we talk for a bit? This is about the news. I know what you're going to say. Of course, what is it? Of course. Monica sat and picked up the nearest newspaper. She pointed to a particularly insulting headline on the front page. I never in a million years would have wished for this, Anton. Just wanted to thank you for supporting me and apologise for creating such a spectacle. Well, yeah, it's fine. All I want to do is bring the people of Sordland together the way you're able to, but not like this. Eyes were getting moist. A single tear fell into the newsprint. I did tell you, Monica, not to do it right then. I'm going to fix it. If you're going to succeed in this, you have to be stronger. I know you can be. It's okay. Everything is under control. Wipe her tears away. Wipe her tears away. That would be the husbandy thing to do. I leaned forward and wiped her tears from her eyes. She clasped my hands at her face. Oh, Anton. Her eyes filled with gratitude. I can see she slept little as I had since the festival. Thank you. One more thing. You know how stubborn I am. Here we go. Perhaps the festival wasn't the proper forum to air my views on women's rights, but I still need to do this, Anton. I want to officially adopt this cause as First Lady, but actually get involved in politics, not just give impromptu speeches. You could even help your education minister with these reforms she's working on. I know it's isn't an urgent issue, but it's vital to me. I'm sorry, no. I don't want to be a crony and well, she is First Lady. So you do expect it. Just don't want anyone to like complain that she's the First Lady. She is allowed to get involved in some of that. Of course you can. Yes, of course you can. Oh, Anton, it means so much to me. She hugged me tightly and felt some of the past days' tension melt away. Thank you. Noise came from the balcony door. We both turned our heads to see Deanna standing there. Mama, I'm hungry. Let's go to the kitchen, baby. We'll make Papa the best snack ever. Yeah! They left the balcony and returned half an hour later with a large cookie. Deanna had written my name in icing on it. As I sipped my coffee and nibbled the cookie, I thought I had made the right choice. Things were going to get harder, but at least my life at home was somewhat peaceful. Right. So what do we have next? Discussion on the formation of a new police force. Oh, here we go. Okay, fine. Secret police, my personal secret police. Yes. What's going on here? Budget allocation of Swordish armed forces. Okay. Well, that would be a fun one. What's going on here? Read the report from Economic Report. Ministry of Statistics from the Ministry of Economy and the Central Bank deliver a preliminary economic status report detailing the state of emergency had caused major disruption to the market. Recession is deepening and the financial system is heading towards a potential collapse if we don't take serious action. The situation is extremely dangerous, but the economy is getting better. It's 3 bars now. Used to be 2. Used to be 1. Okay, so we've just got that, and we got that. That's fine. What's going on in the news? First Lady steps up. Benfey Festival is now in full motion. The festive goers are enjoying the many attractions set up. However, this year's Benfey Festival started eventfully. Major Leslie's opening speech was interrupted by the First Lady, Monica, who stood up to the remarks made by the mayor after he declared the festival activities perversions. I absolutely loved the response from the First Lady, leaving the mayor embarrassed. I couldn't be more proud of her. Alright, so we're going to leave it here, and next time we will sort out what the army want us to do. The armed forces don't really care, they can decide what they want for themselves, and then formation of the new police force, which will, I imagine, is my secret police. And then we need to figure out how we can, I don't know whether I'm going to keep the emergency or not. I guess at some point the game will ask me whether I want to stay or not. But yes, this will be the end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Thanks everyone. Take care.